All right, so let me go ahead and get you guys a short version. But I'll sum it up like this, guys. If you're one of these lazy ass porch, you know what I'm saying? Porch niggas. Yeah, the big beautiful bill is not going to be good for you. Basically what it's doing is it's creating tax cuts, okay, for about 62% of Americans, all right, that work. No taxes on tips, etc. And what it's doing is it's cutting taxes, but it's funding the cutting of those taxes via cutting back on social programs like Medicaid and SNAP, right? And it ensures that people have to have more documentation to get SNAP, which is basically food stamps, right? So for niggas that don't work or are lazy, yeah, it's going to suck. You ain't going to be able to get a handout as much. But if you do work, you'll be able to keep more of your money, okay? If I'm going to just boil it down in like a quick, 10-second thing. But I got a video here for you guys that I'll find that explains it very quickly. Let's see here. Boom. All right. 2 minutes here. Does not have audio? Oh, it's unmuted.
Asked yesterday, but nothing is certain, and this is already getting heated.
You are not going to come into this room and impugn our integrity.
Some raw nerves on Capitol Hill this morning as Republicans make a final push on the president's so-called big, beautiful bill.
The vice president.
Yeah, so guys, it's going to fund a bunch of stuff. Roughly 10,000 ICE agents, Border Patrol, CBP. It's going to fund the Department of Homeland Security to do more deportations. It's going to do tax cuts for about 62% of the American population at work. But the way it's going to fund that, right, with, these new incentives is they're going to have to cut back from Medicaid and SNAP. Now, people are pissed off. The Democrats are pissed off because they look at it like, hey, this is punishing poor people. It's punishing people that, vulnerable class of Americans. But obviously, the working class and then also people that have money, too, they're going to benefit because they are going to get tax cuts and be able to keep more of their money. But what they're arguing, the Republicans, is this is going to generate economic growth, which will offset the deficit that that we're supposed to garner. We're supposed to basically this bill is going to cost us money, which is why Elon Musk is so pissed off, because he went ahead and he had Doge, and Doge was there to cut back government spending. This bill adds to the deficit. So obviously, this is why Elon Musk was so pissed off. And not only is Elon Musk pissed off because this is going to add more to the deficit. Hey, shout out to Rattlesnake TV, man. He just joined in. Welcome to the stream, ninjas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's go all the way back with this so this makes sense. As you guys know, Elon Musk started to support Donald Trump during his 2024 campaign last year, right around this time, actually, right? Especially after he was shot and almost killed in Butler, Pennsylvania. After Trump won, Elon was appointed as the head of Doge, okay, the Department of Government Efficiency. And the purpose of Doge was to cut back on government spending, okay, cut back on government bureaucracy, government bloat, and overspending. And he was able to effectively save quite a bit of money for the U.S. government. Now, Trump put this bill in play, this big, beautiful bill, which tackles many different topics. It's huge, okay? It covers border security, building the border wall, hiring more ICE officers, more ICE agents and ICE personnel, because remember, guys, ICE has HSI and it has ICE ERO. So hiring more of them, hiring more Border Patrol agents, etc. Also talks about giving tax cuts to, a significant portion, a majority of the American population that works, where they're able to keep more of their money on overtime, on overtime, no taxes on tips, etc. So they're able to effectively keep more of the money that they make. But for him to fund this, the other thing was also getting credit on buying cars. When you get an auto loan, if you buy American made, you get a benefit on that, and you get a better price. You basically get a tax cut on that if you buy American. So all of these different things is to allow working Americans to keep more of their money, no tax on tips, less tax on overtime, etc. So it allows them to keep more of the money that they actually work for. Now, who this is going to hurt? This is going to hurt people that want to be porch. So if you don't want to work, you want to chill or whatever, especially for the able-bodied adults, this is going to suck for you. If you were one of these people that used to sit at home all day and collect welfare because you think collecting welfare is better than having a job, because there are some positions, or a lot of people out there where they say, yo, I make more money from welfare than I do from working a real job, so I'm just not going to work. If you're one of those people, this is going to be a very bad time for you, because you're going to have to go ahead and show that you're working at least 80 hours a month, okay? And if you can't show that, you're not going to get the benefits, pretty much. And then Medicaid, they also cut Medicaid as well. And obviously, the Democrats are losing their minds over this, because they're like, look, this bill is targeting a vulnerable part of the American population, blah, blah, blah. Right? So this is why a lot of Democrats oppose it. They look at it like this is a bill to make the poor people poorer, right? But it's helping a lot of the working class. And obviously, improving border security, giving people benefits for buying American-made products, etc. So... and what the Trump administration and the Republicans are saying, like, yes, this is going to add more to the deficit, but that's going to be offset from all the Americans having more of their money, and they're going to put it back. Because as you guys know, when people save money and they hold on to their money, it hurts the economy. It doesn't stimulate. Why do you think they were during the COVID? They're giving all these stimulus packages. They need money to rotate. They need people to spend money to keep the economy going. So they look at it like, if we put more money in their pockets and we also give tax cuts for businesses, those businesses can employ more people. Those people get employed. They work. They stimulate the economy. They make money. They spend. And that gets things going. So they kind of look at it like with a little bit of like, Reaganomics, where you have the top down. You're giving tax breaks to not just the upper echelon that employ people, but also the middle class who are working. And then obviously the porch niggas, they're going to be pissed off because they can't get handouts, right? So that's why this bill is so controversial. And it's, a lot of people are pissed off. But like I said before, the big thing is because the other thing that's controversial about it is not just because, the Democrats and the left are saying, yo, it's going to impose, problems for people that are more vulnerable. The other thing is they're saying, hey, well, this is going to add to the deficit, which is why Elon Musk is so pissed off. But the Trump administration is saying, yo, look, with all this stimuli we're going to create, that's going to offset that deficit. Now, with Elon Musk, he's taking this a bit personal, guys, because as you guys know, Elon Musk, right, he's been beefing with Trump about this, criticizing this bill for a very long time. A big reason why, guys, is because, as you guys know, Elon Musk lost a lot of money on Tesla and SpaceX and all of his other businesses because he was focusing on the campaign and Doge and kind of taking his attention off of the pulse from his businesses. And on top of that, when he was supporting Trump, a lot of these Tesla dealerships were getting blown up by liberals, right? There were so many different people getting arrested by the FBI all across the country for basically lighting Teslas on fire, destroying them at the dealerships, etc. So this obviously made the Tesla stock fucking crash and go wild. And he lost a lot of money on this. Obviously, SpaceX, he didn't devote enough time to it. Twitter also started to degrade quite a bit as well because he was focusing on the Doge stuff. And, this is obviously in the middle of him getting Ashley St. Clair pregnant and all the other fucking drama he had to deal with this year while, being at the White House. And obviously, he returned back to Tesla and everything else like that because the investors basically demanded that Elon needed to go back to work. So he left. And he was pissed off because this big, beautiful bill, he looks at it like, yo, I took all this loss with my businesses. I took all this reputational hit because I was a former Democrat. Now I'm over here with the Republicans. And you're just going to go ahead and spit in my face and go ahead and pass this big-ass bill, which adds to the deficit, right? But Trump's team is arguing, hey, well, the way we're going to stimulate the economy, that deficit is going to be eroded when people have more money and they put the money back into the economy because they're making money and we're giving them tax cuts. So a lot of it is speculative, guys, but I can see both perspectives. I can see why Elon is mad because he literally lost billions upon billions of dollars in net worth to assist in the Trump campaign, and he also spent a significant amount of money to get Trump into office, so he's obviously pissed off. But then Trump is pissed off because he's looking at it like, yo, you're not being a fucking loyal supporter. You're over here questioning my bill when I already have enough headaches getting this thing passed through the fucking government. Last thing I need is someone from my team criticizing my policy when I got to go fight with the ops. So both parties are obviously angry at each other for different reasons, but I hope you guys can understand why. Well, number one, how we got here. Number two, why Elon Musk is pissed off. The crashing of his businesses, right? Because let's be honest here, guys. Tesla buyers are not conservatives and they're not Republicans. Most right-wingers don't give a fuck about climate change. We make fun of climate change. We call it a scam on this side of the internet. But Democrats and liberals, progressives, the people that are more likely to buy Teslas, well, they're pissed off and they stopped buying Teslas because of his support of Trump. So he got the double whammy. Not was the stock going down and people destroying the Teslas and it had bad reputation on the Democrat side. people aren't buying the Teslas either. Because he ostracizes the very people that would be more climate friendly, right? Give me ones in the chat that all makes sense. I summarized it quite a bit. There's way more to it than that. I'm sure there's a lot of economists out there that could go way deeper, but I kind of want to give you guys a bird's eye view of what this big, beautiful bill is, what it's going to do, how it's going to affect people, and how we got a lot of the drama around this bill based on the Elon Musk-Trump relationship. Give me ones if that all makes sense. Yeah, dude, it is about Elon losing money. That's a big part of it. Because he lost money and time supporting Trump. And this bill offsets everything he did, bro. That's 100% one of the reasons. He talked about it. Like, ask Elon himself, bro. Yeah, the EV mandates, yep. And again, guys, I'm not an economist. I'm not like the most... I'm. You guys know I'm always very honest about, like, our strengths and weaknesses. Like, I am not an economist. I'm giving you guys a very bare bones summary of the big, beautiful bill and the drama behind it. So let's go ahead and watch this video that talks about it a bit more. But yeah, all you niggas out here that don't work, you niggas are cooked. I ain't gonna lie. You niggas are cooked. All you bros that used to sit at home and collect Snap, you niggas are fried.
Republicans in the House are wasting no time now trying to give a final sign-off on what the Senate passed yesterday, but nothing is certain, and this is already getting heated.
You are not going to come into this room and impugn our integrity.
Okay, thank you guys. Mostly ones. Awesome. Good. And I know a lot of you guys are saying, Myron, why do you ask us if we understand? The reason why, guys, is because I take great pleasure in being able to explain things in a very simple way that you guys understand and can kind of have a summary. So I take that feedback and I kind of refine it. So if I get a lot of twos or I don't get enough ones like I want, if I don't get like 90% plus ones, I reframe the way I explain things so that it's easier to understand, because I do take great pride in being able to summarize things for you guys in a understandable, concise, and cogent manner that you guys can kind of take and impart on someone else or just understand what the hell's going on. That's like my job. That's my duty to you guys. So thank you guys so much for the feedback. I try to make it as efficient as possible.
Some raw nerves on Capitol Hill this morning as Republicans make a final push on the president's so-called big, beautiful bill.
The vice president votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
Vice President J.D. Vance had to cast the tie-breaking vote in the Senate yesterday.
And that's what the vice president does when they come to a stalemate like that.
To advance the massive tax cut and spending package that is central to the president's agenda.
Mr. President, good news. The big, beautiful bill just passed in the Senate.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you.
Trump learned of the Senate's action while in Florida.
We had a big day today. The bill passed, and I think it's going to do very well in the House.
But will it do very well in the House? Leaders have scrambled to bring members back to town.
Of course, we have weather delays all around the country, so there's lots of complications, but welcome to Congress. There's always lots of complications.
These phonies on the Republican side of the aisle claim to be fiscally responsible. Get lost.
House Democrats are vowing to fight, but the bigger complication for the GOP may be some fiscally conservative Republicans who want to pump the brakes.
Like Thomas Massey was a big one.
Line is we can't do it in the next few days, but I do believe by next week we can come to an agreement. And again, they're going to be last-minute changes, just the way there were in the Senate.
And if there are some last-minute changes, that could very easily tank the bill's chances of reaching the president's desk by the 4th of July. In Washington.
And that's another reason why they were staying up all night, guys, talking about this bill, is because they obviously had a deadline to get it. And Trump is smart, bro. He made a big-ass bill covering so many different topics and said, yo, you guys got a fucking deadline of the 4th, so kind of to try to speed run that shit through, man. And the Democrats obviously are pissed off because they're like, bro, you dropped this big-ass bill on us and tell us we got to get it done by this time. What the fuck, man?
Well, it is setting up for another long night. Has to go through this procedure. Some are.
Hold on, bro. I'm trying to find a quick explanation for you guys of what it. Okay, you know what? We might have to watch the one from yesterday. I was trying to get you guys a different one, but here's a good one right here.
Trump's one big, beautiful bill. This thing is huge, over 900 pages long, and it's got something in it for just about everybody. Whether that's good or bad depends a lot on where you stand.
This is one of the better
Let's start with
explanations
what's
for you
in
guys.
it for working folks, because that's where a lot of attention is going.
We watched this yesterday, but I know a lot of you guys might have not seen it, so we'll watch it again. 1.25 speed. Let's go.
Starters, if you're someone who works in the service industry, maybe a restaurant, salon, hotel, You'll now be able to deduct up to $25,000 in tip income from your taxable income. That's huge. I know
Yeah. So for all you guys that are serving industry, you niggas are about to make more money.
a lot of people who work double shifts and still feel like taxes eat away half their earnings. So this helps. But there's a catch. If you make over $150,000 as an individual or $300,000 as a couple, the benefit starts to phase out. So it's definitely targeted more at low to middle income earners.
Hey, so make under 150K, baby. Make 149K, guys.
Also, there's a new deduction for overtime pay. Same deal. If you're putting in those
Someone just said it's a wealth transfer to the rich. Actually, no, it isn't, my friend.
extra hours, you can write off more of what you earn. That's something folks have been asking for years, especially with inflation, making everyone stretch their paycheck a little further. And guess what? There's a new senior deduction too. If you're 65 or older, you may qualify for a $6,000 bonus deduction. That's up from the $4,000 version the House was originally considering. It starts phasing out for individuals who make over $75,000 or couples over $150,000. But still, if you're on a fixed income, every bit helps. Now let's talk kids. If you have a child born between 2024 and 2028, they could get something called a Trump account. It's a government-seeded savings plan with a $1,000 deposit.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting that this is also a part of the Big Beautiful Bill. I forgot to mention this, chat.
To grow over time in an index fund. It's not cash you can spend now, but it's a financial head start. And for families who never had the means to open a 529 or brokerage account, this could be a pretty powerful tool. It's automatic too, no application required. That part's nice. Also, a lot of people have asked, what about auto loans? The bill includes a deduction for interest paid on certain U.S. assembled auto loans. It's capped at $10,000 and doesn't apply to every loan. But if you bought a car recently, it might be worth taking another look at your paperwork come tax season. So on the
So if you guys are going to buy a car, right? Maybe buy American.
surface, this all sounds pretty good, right? But, and this is a big but, there's another side to the story. Because to make room for all these tax cuts, the bill cuts spending. And not just a little. We're talking about deep cuts to programs like Medicaid and SNAP, which is a Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, commonly called food stamps. So here's what's changing. First,
okay, I hope you niggas are ready. All you lazy niggas, listen up. This is important.
Medicaid. The bill adds a new federal work requirement for adults between 19 and 64 who don't have a disability.
Ooh. I got to rewind that one more time and turn up the volume a little bit. Hold on one sec, niggas.
You'll have to prove only called food programs. But, and this is a big but, there's another side to the story. Because to make room for all these tax cuts, the bill cuts spending. And not just a little. We're talking about deep cuts to programs like Medicaid and SNAP, which is a Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, commonly called food stamps. So here's what's changing. First, Medicaid. The bill adds a new federal work requirement for adults between 19 and 64 who don't have a disability.
Ooh, you niggas gotta work.
You'll have to prove 80 hours a month of work, volunteering, or training. And unless you
That's 20 hours a week, part-time.
have a child under 14, the exemption for parents no longer applies. A lot of folks will be caught off guard by that one. Also, eligibility checks now happen every 6 months instead of once a year. That sounds small, but in practice it means more paperwork, more deadlines, more chances to get kicked off coverage for missing a form or deadline. And when you combine all of that, the
You gotta document why you're lazy twice a year now.
Congressional Budget Office estimates that nearly 8 million people will lose Medicaid by 2034. That's not nothing. And then there's SNAP. Similar work requirements, but with a new twist. If a state has a high error rate in its benefits distribution, they now have to pay part of the cost out of their own pocket. That's going to hit poorer states the hardest. And for some 600,000 low-income families, monthly food assistance could drop by about $100. So you see the pattern. The bill gives with one hand through deductions and credits, but it takes away with the other by scaling back government support for lower-income families.
Yeah, so in other words, if you want handouts, it's gonna suck for you. But if you actually work, you're gonna keep more of your money.
And depending on your personal situation, you might get a little help from the tax code, but lose a lot more in healthcare or food support. And then there's energy. This one stirred up a lot of conversation. Under this bill, nearly all of the clean energy tax credits passed during the Biden years are being
this is another reason why Elon is pissed.
Rolled back. That includes incentives for electric vehicles, solar panels, heat pumps, all the stuff you see in those home upgrade ads. They're gone or set to expire very soon. So what's replacing them? New tax breaks for fossil fuel production. Coal, oil, gas. Excise taxes on fossil fuels are being removed, and credits are being introduced for coal production, especially in U.S. facilities. If you work in energy or you live in a state like Texas or West Virginia, this might sound like a return to stability. But for clean energy startups and solar companies, many of which had planned big expansions based on those credits, this is a serious reversal. And here's something I didn't expect when I read the bill. there's a section on space. Yes, space. $10 billion is going toward Mars mission planning. Another $325 million to help deorbit the International Space Station. And $85 million is going to move the space shuttle from Virginia to Texas. That last one sparked a lot of jokes online. But space exploration is part of the broader defense budget in this bill, which also includes $29 billion for shipbuilding and $25 billion for missile defense. And speaking of defense, the border provisions are one of the most heavily funded parts. $46.5 billion is going to expand the border wall and install new surveillance. $45 billion more is going toward detention centers, and $30 billion to train new ICE agents. There's also a $100 fee now for people seeking asylum. So, while the tax cuts are getting most of the headlines, this bill is also massively ramping up funding for military and immigration enforcement. That's a pretty clear reflection of the current administration's priorities. But here's the part that a lot of people are still wrapping their heads around.
And guys, military spending is always high. Like that's, you know what I mean? It's not cheap to maintain our fucking influence worldwide.
The cost. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that this bill will add $3.3 trillion to the national.
And this is what a lot of people are pissed off about. Hey, this is adding to the deficit. What the fuck? And this is actually a big part of the reason why Trump was pissed off too.
National deficit over the next 10 years. Some estimates, once you factor in interest and extended provisions, say it's closer to $5.3 trillion. Though, supporters say it's worth it. They see it as an investment in growth, energy independence, and national security. Critics say it's a wealth transfer, cutting support for the poor and giving breaks to the wealthy. And the data does show that households making over $217,000 a year will get the biggest tax cut, around $12,500 on average. Households making under $35,000 will see about $150. It's a pretty stark difference. Even though that sounds tough to hear, it's worth knowing. Because when you understand the numbers, you can better plan for what's ahead. One more thing before we wrap. There's still one step left. The House has to approve the Senate's version. If they do that without changes, the bill heads straight to President Trump's desk.
And I've talked to you guys about this. Every single one of you guys watching this stream right now can make $100,000 a year. Every single one of you guys can. All right? The fact that you guys are even watching this kind of content tells me that you're a critical thinker and you have the ability to take in information regardless of, you know, what people might say, like, oh, this is offensive, blah, blah, blah. The fact that you're even watching this channel already tells me that you have an ability to critically think. If you have the ability to critically think, you can make $100,000 a year, guys. Yes, you will have to have multiple jobs. Yes, you will not have that much free time. Yes, you're going to be working all the goddamn time and your social life is absolutely going to deteriorate. But guess what? Every single one of you guys watching this stream right now, because the majority of you guys are men, can make $100,000 a fucking year, bro. And benefit from this big, beautiful bill. Keep more of your fucking money. Okay? If you're a brokey and you're a bum and you sit inside all day, yeah, this is going to suck, right? You want to be fucking chilling, on your porch and not doing nothing? Fine, this is going to suck for you. But all you guys that want to grind and make money, this bill is absolutely going to help you, man. Okay? So it seems as though $150,000 and below, you'll be able to benefit as long as you stay above 35K. So from 35K to 149K, you're in a good spot. Or you make over $250,000 a year, then you'll get an even bigger tax cut. So guys, try to put yourself in that range to benefit off this bill. Okay? Try to put yourself in that range. But every single one of you ninjas in here can make money, man. All of you guys in here. The fact you're in here watching this shit right now, you're higher IQ than most people. Okay? And if you're watching me, you probably don't have a victim, bitch-ass nigga mindset. If you're watching me. So you already have a more resilient mindset than 99% of dudes just by watching this shit. So all of you guys can absolutely benefit from this.
Maybe even before the 4th of July. But if they make edits, the Senate has to reconvene. And with lawmakers heading home for the holiday, that could slow everything down.
And guys, I've told you guys before, get a regular job and then you could do Uber Eats. One of these side jobs where you can kind of contort it to your main job. So let's say you have a full-time job, where you work 40 hours a week. Then you have a side hustle, whether you're building a business or you're doing Uber or whatever. And you take that money from that side hustle and you put it into your next endeavor. This is how I was able to go ahead and lead the rat race. So when I was working for the government, you guys know, I was making about $120,000 to $130,000 per year from 2018 till about 2020, right? And what I did was I took $6,000, I got Brandon Carter as my coach, and I started investing into building an online fitness program, right? I built this online fitness program and that increased my income and I was able to bring in about another $180,000 or so, okay, per year. Now, what I was able to do, because that obviously replaced, that made more money than my government job. What I was able to do is I was able to save that money because I was living really low below my means, right? I was only paying like $1,700 a month in rent. This is before Miami blew up. And I was making roughly $300,000 a year with both my government job and the side hustle. Now, when you do your side hustle up front, guys, it's probably not going to make as much as your main job, but it's going to be extra income that you can save, okay? And with that money that I made from the fitness business, I saved it. And guess what? I was able to get another apartment and build a complete podcast studio, okay? When Fresh and Fit first started, I put in about $40,000 to $50,000 in the first initial setup that we had, okay? This episode right here, let's go down memory lane real quick for you guys so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about here. I'm gonna show you guys something. Give me 1 second and just... We're going down in memory lane, chat. We are going down in memory lane. So, this was the first...
doing our first live shows.
This is the first live show that we did. October 26, 2020. Right? So, as you guys can see, we got the banner, sound panels, right? At the time, guys, I had 2 apartments. I was paying $3,700 a month for this apartment, and then I had my other one, I was paying $1,700.
You guys
right?
know.
Shure microphones, boom arms, etc.
Me and Fresh, we're here in Miami, Florida. I'm 30 years old.
Man, what a crazy time. And then you can see, more panels, signs, all that shit, right? Let me see if I can get... This was the first episode, right? And you guys can see the background, everything else like that.
Appreciate it.
This is at the Panorama Tower down the street from here. So why am I showing you guys this? I'm showing you guys this because, look, we were able to start off pretty fucking good. Right? Obviously, we didn't understand the lighting and all this other shit, but we were able to tinker it and make it better, right? Over time. So you go to like the next episode, right? I go to oldest. Holy shit, man. We're really going down memory lane here. But I really want to show you guys this visually so you know what I'm talking about. Right? So this is also one of our, older episodes. This is... What day did we stream this shit?
Hey, what up, guys? We're live.
November. So a month later, we're already starting making better quality. A month later, right? Now you can see the background fine. Lighting is better. More dynamic view. You can see Miami behind us. We got Lucario and Miles here, right? More sound panels. Signs behind. Now it's starting to get better, right? So we have a 4-point camera system. We got a call-in thing now when you can call into the show, right? So the show is improving. Better quality. Now, why am I showing you guys this? I'm showing you guys this so you guys understand that if you work a regular job and then you get a side hustle and you're able to save enough money from that side hustle, you can start up the next endeavor, like hitting the ground running. Okay? That's how I was able to do it. So boom, I have my regular job, then I get my side hustle. Save money from side hustle, which is being an online fitness coach. From being an online fitness coach, I took that money, invested into the studio, then we segued into podcasting. And we were able to go ahead and segue into the podcasting with high quality equipment from the rip, which allows you to accelerate your growth because the quality is higher, the audio is better, the video is better, people are more likely to watch. All of these little details, guys, build into you growing on social media, right? And we're able to grow fairly quickly because the content was good, the quality was good, and that increases watch time, more people watch, more subscribers, more growth, etc. Now, you could go ahead and apply this to another business, right? Let's say you go ahead and you want to start a dog walking business, right? You have your job, you love dogs and you love animals. So you have your regular job, maybe you work at, I don't fucking know, a CVS. Then you go ahead and you drive Uber on the weekends and you make this money, but you really love animals and you want to be a dog walker. Well, guess what? Now you can invest into getting leashes, getting the equipment ready, having an infrastructure at your place where you can watch all the dogs effectively. Maybe some camera system like some puppy cams. Then you could go ahead and start, passing out flyers or paying for ads, right? Because you made that money from your Uber driving and then you invest it into your dog business and then you're able to go ahead and slowly scale up your dog business, your dog walking business, or your dog walking business / dog daycare business, right? From the money that you made. And then bam, once you get to a point where you're making enough money from that and the Uber driving, then you can maybe quit your full-time job and then start focusing on that and then start to scale up that business. And the thing is that the more money you're able to invest up front, right, off the money that you made from your regular jobs, the faster you're able to leave that 9 to 5. Okay? That's why I tell you guys all the time, man, live below your means. There's more opportunity now to make money than ever before because of the internet and all these other things where you can kind of have these weird, contractor type positions like Uber Eats or driving an Uber or whatever. More opportunity now to make money than ever before and become a 6-figure earner. Again, it's not going to be easy, right? I'll admit to you guys, you're going to lose a lot of your social life. You're going to lose a lot of, you might lose a girlfriend. You might lose you might lose family members. They might get pissed off at you because you're working all the time. But it is absolutely possible for every single one of you guys to crack 6 figures. Every single one of you guys can do it.